Today we have two Staggs. That's right, double the Staggaliciousness. That's right, that's a word. Batch 23A and 23B. You guys know the deal. It's from Buffalo Trace, one of the most sought after bourbons from Buffalo Trace. Today I'm going to compare both of these and also maybe throw in Batch 22A for good measure, just to compare them all. So check that. 3 Staggs, that's right. Stay tuned. It's the Mash and Drum. Gonna be fun. What's up, folks? I'm Jason C. from the Mash and Drum, and welcome back to the show. Like, subscribe, help grow the channel for 2023. Hope everyone had a fantastic Thanksgiving. I know I did. By the way, this is my 800th video. 800. It's crazy. I was looking at the my video content. It said 799. So this technically will be my 800th video that I've ever produced. So incredible, and you know, couldn't really do it without you guys. So thanks. All right, so quick history as always. STAGG Jr. was first announced in 2013 and was expected to be a more widely available version of George T. Stagg. Fast forward to 2021, Buffalo Trace announced that Batch 18 would be the first batch to lose Jr. from its name and simply be called Stagg, which is released twice a year with an age said to be between 7 to 9 years old. I don't know about you guys, but I still call him STAGG Jr. all the time. I mean, let me know down in the comments. You guys still refer to it as STAGG Jr. I do. I think for so long we had STAGG Jr. and we had Stagg, and that was like a very clear and concise delineation between the two. Now we have Stagg, and now we have to call the other one George T. Stagg. So I'd rather say Stagg and STAGG Jr. I don't know why. I understand the whole 18 and coming of age thing. I just still call it STAGG Jr.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
All right, so let me pour 23A. Now this comes in at 130.2 proof. Now 23B comes in a little bit lower, about 127.8. Now I do want to thank a couple of my patrons for sending these bottles along. I haven't really been able to attain these myself this year, so I was able to borrow these before the review. So thanks, fellas, appreciate the assist. Now let's start with 23A and see what we get here. My gosh, Stagg 23A smells so freaking good. This is exactly what you want, like cherry cola, maybe a little bit of grapiness in there, kind of like a grape soda thing type going on. A little bit of oak, mostly sweet though. This is great. I mean, it's kind of exactly what you want. It's kind of like the best Eagle Rare store pick you could find, and just amp it up to, like, you know, turn it up to 11. You know what I mean? Just fantastic nose. So absolutely delicious nose so far on 23A. Now 23B, which just released, I have not had a chance to try this yet. I have nosed and tasted 23A previously, but 23B, haven't even sniffed it yet. So let's see what we get. Wow, so this one is very different. It's actually a little bit more oak forward. 23B is actually giving more of like a dense, rich caramel, kind of like a Milky Way type thing going on. A little bit of chocolate in here. Oh wait, now the cherry goodness is starting to come out a little bit. Maybe because the first pour, it just needs some time to sit out a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna let that sit out a little bit more, and let's try 23A here. Here we go. Cheers, guys. Yeah, candy sweet. Just as I would, you know, expect from the nose. 23A just gives you, I mean, again, I mean, it's hard to kind of shake that cherry grape like combination that it has. It's got this powdered sugary note that it's got going on with it. Another sip here. It's got this like Buffalo Trace Rickhousey type of note to it. That is really good. Wow. Stagg 23A. That's a really nice batch right there. Now, again, if you lean towards, now most people that love Stagg or STAGG Jr., you know, they love those sweet batches. You know, batch 15 in particular, I know that was a big favorite because it was so sweet forward. I think this one really kind of gets in line with that. Now we go to 23B. Now 23B to me is a little bit more balanced. 23B has the sweet, but as this has opened up, now it's got a little bit more of a, you know, a little bit more of an oak presence. It's a little bit darker, not as bright and sweet. That's 20. Wow, gosh, these could not be more different. It's crazy. All right, let's try 23B on the palate. So 23B, yeah, it's coming off darker, but there's the cherry in here is a little bit more medicinal to me. Whereas 23A is just like a sweet, tart, rich cherry grape combination. 23B comes off a little bit more of a medicinal cherry, I think, especially coming off of 23A. Obviously, when you try these head to head, you know, they can influence each other in different ways. But when you're going back and forth between these two, they are very different. All right, 23B one more time. Yeah, 23B is a little bit more tamed down on the sweetness, which I don't think will be a lot of people's favorites. You know, people tend to go really towards those super sweet stag batches. Is it good? Yeah, it's really good. Have I had other better batches than 23B? Yeah. I think 23A might be the star of the show. All right, so now I'm gonna throw in 22A just to see how it compares to these two. 22A, I got earlier in the year, which actually came out after 22B, but you can go watch the review for that on that whole story. All right, here's batch 22A. 22A coming in at 132.2 proof. All right, let's go into 22A here. Wow. 22A has this raisinette type thing, like a chocolate covered raisin vibe. So maybe that means it's just a little bit more on the grapey side. Like, you could convince me this is finished in like an Oloroso sherry cask or something, the way 22A comes off. There is a very dark fruit type of vibe going with 22A. And I think that's why I loved it so much. All right, let's try it on the palate. Wow, the flavor punch is immediate. Man, out of all three of these, which one do I like the most? Which is my favorite Stag / Stag Junior of the year? I mean, this will pretty much kind of be my final breakdown, guys, because, you know, I'm not going to final break down all three of these. I will, however, break down the flavor profile. So if you are hunting for any of these, you kind of know what you're looking for. All right, so let's start with 23A. So 23A, this is the super sweet one. If you guys want candy, grape, cherry, powdered sugar for days, 23A is going to be the one you want to pick up. It is just that all day long. You could give this, you can make a lollipop out of this. Oh my gosh, Stag Pops. The only knock I could give 23A is that it has a slight bitter, youthful kick on the back end of it, which maybe could derail the flavor for you a little bit, but I think there's so much sweetness on the front of the palate for it. I don't think it's really, you know, not gonna make a difference for most people. All right, 23B. 23B, I think, has a much higher age in the blend. If you're looking at 6 to 8, I would argue that there is more 8-year in this blend than 6-year or even 7-year. This one has the age to it, to me. At least it tastes that way. So if you're looking for something closer to George T. Stagg, 23B might be your option. And finally, 22A. So 22A, probably my favorite Stag that I've had here in 2023. I absolutely love the balance of it. I feel like you get the best of both worlds from 23A and also 23B. You get all the sweet and spice here from 23A, and you get all, you know, you get a little bit of that like oak presence. 22A reminds me a lot of batch 12. However, all three of these are very different. So when you're trying to go back and forth between which Stag you like the best, I hope I was able to help you break it down a little bit as far as what you're looking for and willing to spend the money on. But either way, 3 Stags in one day, not too bad for an 800th episode. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed my 800th episode here on the Master and Drum as we tasted Stagg 23A, 23B, and also threw in 22A to see which one was my favorite from this year. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the subscribe button below. Please hit the like button. If you haven't yet, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter. Let me know if you've been lucky enough to have 1, 2, or all 3 of these, what your favorite is. Always love hearing, you know, what your profiles, how they line up, what you like the best. I mean, generally any Stag is a great Stag. However, if you're lucky enough to get these on a consistent basis, at least you have a little bit of a map to guide you which way to go. So with that said, as I always say, it's not about the whiskey, it's the people you share it with. Let's blend all 3. All right, let's try the blend here. It's pretty delicious. Nailed it. See you next time right here on the Master and Drum.